Hey everybody, thank you for watching Weekend Garage. So, on this episode, what we're going to show basically is the process I went through to make some plates for my front dash speakers. And what I did basically is I just used a sheet of 16 gauge steel. Let me grab it real quick. So this piece here is 16 gauge steel. It was actually a lot bigger. I already cut it out. And I'm going to show you basically how I was able to shape everything. I need to build some brackets right here to house the dash speakers. So, see I got my tape measure here. I'm going to need, basically, I'm going to need something that's about 6 inches wide, approximately, and about 5 inches in depth, approximately. Let me get to the other side, because the other side actually has more room. This is a bit cramped and may be a bit more challenging for me to design a bracket. Okay, so now we're looking at the passenger side speaker provision. You can see I got a ton of room here. I mean, a lot of room there. So, and there's a provision for it to bolt down right here, right there, and right there. So I got 3 points to bolt down. The other side, I'm gonna have to figure out, make a little 3-point bracket for that as far as mounting provision. Now for the driver's side, basically, my 3 mounting points are gonna be right here, and then of course the 2 right here. So I'm gonna have to make a bracket that kind of bends around, goes like this, and then has a tab that comes over to fasten on here. So I'm gonna trace that out. I kind of already did on a sheet of paper. I just basically, I laid a sheet of paper over here and I used a marker to trace out how everything's gonna go. And then I'm going, obviously I had to take into account the fold here because I'm gonna fold that metal to go down there. So when I trace this out, making sure to have a little over an inch extra material right up here so I can fold it. So I'm gonna get to working on that. Okay, now so for the driver's side, you can see I got my template there. I made some marks. This one's a little different. I'm gonna have to, cut a little bit out here. What I'm gonna have to do is basically bend this tab down right here so I can bolt it up right there. So I'm just kind of looking right now to see how I'm gonna do this. And this edge here, I'm gonna have to bend it down as well so it can screw down to right there. So I'm just kind of mocking this up right now and I'm gonna get to work on it. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm just heating this metal up and then I'm gonna start forming it. So this is gonna be an angled piece here, so it's gonna take a little bit of massaging here to bend an angle. All right, so yeah, this takes a little bit of time here. Got to keep heating up the metal here and just beating it with a hammer. It's just a bit of a process here, especially because this is it's going to be an angled fold here, so So what I'm actually going to do, I got this side pretty much manipulated how I want it now, but I got to fold this edge over here too. So I'm going to need to take it off the vise and scoot it over a bit so I can fold over the other side. Again, I just got to keep the whole piece hot so I can work with it. You definitely want to wear leather gloves or some thick gloves because this is very hot. You don't want to burn yourself. See, once you work it for a minute, it'll start manipulating. It just takes a little bit of time. You got to be patient. Don't beat the heck out of it. That's why I'm using this rubber mallet here, so I don't mar the steel. Okay, now that's a start right there. Let me get this out of the vise and we'll look at it. So, let me get this thing just kind of test fit on there, just kind of mock it up and see how it's going to work. All right, I'm getting things wrapped up here as far as shaping this. What ended up happening is that first fold that I made was too much. So I had to rework the metal. It took a little bit of time and I had to get the grinder out. All right, so I have this piece all ready to go here. I just need to just do a couple of more trial fits. It looks like it's going to work. And then what I'll do is I'll clean it up after. But just wanted to show you guys what this looks like. You know, it's all beat up looking right now, but it'll look better when I get it cleaned up. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm on the fence. I was going to put some tweeters in the front, the dash there, and I'm thinking I might put a 3.5-inch speaker instead. So I haven't bought anything yet, but and that's another reason why I had to extend the front more and unfold it and, you know, extend it and bend it down again because I needed to have enough for 3.5 inches. So the whole piece right now, if I'm going from the center, it's about 4.5 inches from the center, but you can see I start losing length as it angles like that. So I need to fit a 3.5-inch speaker here. That's the plan, at least. It may change. Yeah, so I'm going to work on fitting this a little more. I got to drill the holes in here, and then I will clean it up, and then we'll see what the result looks like after it's cleaned up. So this right here is the driver's side plate for the driver's side speaker. I already have my holes drilled out. Everything lines up really good. And then this is a little brace that'll bolt on one of the dash bolts on the front. So what I'll do basically is I'll cut this out and then I'll install my speaker. Now this is a passenger side plate. This one came out really nice. This was simple, fortunately. This was real easy. This only took me, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half or so to get it all shaped and cut, put together. Maybe 2 hours tops. This other one though, this took a while actually to get it to look like this. But I'm very pleased because it fits really good. Now I just need to figure out where I'm going to cut the hole at for the speaker because, you know, there's very limited room under this on the dash because the gauges are here and everything. So I need to make sure that the speaker magnet doesn't hit any of that. So I'm going to be looking as far as how that's going to all come together. This is what it looks like with the bracket. Again, it's just mocked up right now, but I want you to see how it's going to look when it's all done. It came out pretty good. So if you saw my last video, you'll see that I need to run a ground wire for my fuel sending unit. So basically, I need to run that wire, and I picked up a roll of 16 gauge wire to go ahead and run that ground. You know, ideally, if I would have known and maybe done my homework ahead of time, I could have ran that wire in the same bundle that I already wrapped that goes from the dash harness all the way back to the rear of the vehicle. But fortunately, you know, being that I'm going to be running the electric in-tank fuel pump, I already have wiring going back there that's in a channel basically in the hard wire loom running along the frame rail to the gas tank. So what I'm going to do basically is I'm just going to stick that wire in there and run it all the way to the back. So I'm going to get right on it. Okay, I got the ground wire ran for the fuel tank sending unit. This is it right here. I already terminated it, and I'll show you where I went through the firewall. Okay, so I ended up going through this provision right here, and this is the wire right here. And I just stuck it through that grommet there. And again, I ran it with the power wire for the in-tank fuel pump alongside in the same wire loom that's running along the frame. So I got that good to go, and I'll just show you the back real quick. Obviously this isn't done, but I just have it dangling here. I put a zip tie on it. The power wire for the in-tank fuel pump's already in the loom. It's just shorter than this ground wire. I wanted to make sure and have extra slack for the ground wire. And now I'm going to get on to the next task. All right, so the next step is I want to start installing some Dynamat in the car. And forgive me if you watch one of my older videos. I keep saying Dynamat, and forgive me, I was like cringing when I was watching the video. I'm going to install some Dynamat, and I'm going to focus basically on the front section just right below the firewall. I picked up this box here from Crutchfield. It's basically 18 by 18 sections of Dynamat Extreme squared. You know, they do actually make a kit, Dynamat does, for first generation Monte Carlo 70 to 72. But it's just kind of like sections and stuff like that. And I wanted to, you know, cover more area. So that's why I went ahead and opted to go with this right here. And I'll probably obviously get another, probably buy another one of these later. But I at least want to start in the front because I want to start prepping and planning for the stereo installation as well. So I got the driver's side all vacuumed out, and I'm going to focus on this side first. And then we'll see how it comes together. One thing I do want to note, because I was trying to figure out where to find this grommet, and I did put two and two together. Again, only because I took this car apart a long time ago and some things were missing. But behind the brake pedal there that's a large grommet right there. So there's a big hole right there, and I was very thankful to pick up a grommet from OPG. Now this is a speedometer cable grommet. This is where the speedometer cable goes in if you're using just the standard mechanical gauges. So I was very thankful to find that. And what I'm going to do actually is I'm just going to cover that with Dynamat. I'm just going to cover right over it, and that way I'm going to put a little plug in that hole, and then I'm just going to lay the Dynamat right over it. But I'm going to get to work on figuring out how I'm going to lay this out on at least the driver's side and see how far I'm going to go back. It's probably a good idea if I show this stuff to you in case you haven't seen it. One thing I noticed when I opened the box up is it's pretty tarry. There's like sticky tar on the edge. But this is what it looks like. And it looks pretty flexible. And it's got this paper back that you peel off and then you lay it down. Now, if you guys remember on my video when I put it on the ceiling of the car on the roof, I had this roller from Dynamat that I ended up using to help the adhesion and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and lay these out, and I'm glad that it's pretty flexible. So I'm going to lay a couple out and kind of get some ideas, and then I'll show you guys once I have it all laid out. All right, I got one side done, and I'm basically trying to mimic exactly how I laid them out on this side. Forgive me, it's just my OCD. You know what I mean? It really doesn't matter, but I'm just trying to be uniform in the way that they're being laid down. I already, this is one of them. I already cut them. I measured basically 10 inches from the top to the, up here to the ending of this Dynamat sheet here. So this bigger piece that's 10 inches, 10 by 18, I'm gonna stick that right here. And then I measured right here for the tunnel, for the transmission tunnel, the driveline tunnel, and I'm gonna basically stick this right there. This is where the floor shifter goes, so I don't want to cover that. I'm just gonna, you know, basically just stop right here. Not gonna be a big deal. You can see here, and when I'm done, I'll move the blanket and kind of show you guys what it looks like. But I just want to show you, just so you can see, you know, how easy this stuff is to apply. It works really good, you know. I have gloves on because it's easy to slide your hands when you're trying to lay it down. Then I'll go over with the roller after. So let me get this laid down here. There we go. Like I'm just pressing down, not the whole thing, but just little parts of it, so I can get an idea, you know, how it's gonna lay down. And then you basically I'm just going on the edges, you know, and then just rubbing it to the corners. So you can see that went down pretty easy, and then I'll follow up with the roller. Everything's all stuck down well. And we'll see at the end, you know, when I have the whole car done, I'm not necessarily going to do every square inch inside here, but, you know, I may possibly do the edges all the way. We'll see. The main thing is I just want to get the big pieces right now. And then I'll deal with it after that. Now I have the tunnel piece here for the transmission, and we'll see how this one lays down. It is really easy to work with. I will say that. With the exception of it sticking to my gloves, that wasn't happening a minute ago, but it's doing it now. All right. Okay. So I know you can't see because you're at a different angle, but I'm just trying to line the edges up here. And then I'll let it, I might have to overlap it a little down here on the bottom. Excellent. So here I'm just starting at the bottom, and I will probably, should have went end to end. Let's see. It does pull up easy, at least for the moment. Excellent. Like I said, you just want to lay it down with your hands first and follow up with that roller. And that roller will get everything else. So basically, I have used 4 sheets out of my 8 sheet kit that I bought. So you could see it goes pretty quick. You know, you're going to go through it really quick. So that's why I was just buying a little bit of a time. I know you can buy a big pack of it, like a massive pack, but I mean, I think it was like $800,000, $900,000 or something. I'm not trying to do that. So I'm just taking little bites at this at a time. But just wanted to show you, and I'm going to continue to lay this out. And I'll show you what it looks like when I'm all done. All right, so I'm all done. Basically, I ran out of all the Dynamat. You can see passenger side there, how far back it went. I didn't get the tunnel there for the drive shaft and transmission. I decided to go ahead and use the sheets just to continue all the way back. So I'm not going to go all the way across the transmission tunnel there, but what I'm going to do is probably do just about an 8-inch section on each side and leave it bare on the top. But you can see both sides there, how everything came together. It turned out pretty good. It looks good. So I'm going to begin to plan for the dash speakers, and I also need to start planning for the 6x9s, and thinking of getting a powered subwoofer as well, and to put that under the driver's seat. So I'm going to start doing some research and planning. Until then, the next step is working on getting the door glass in and all that, and the molding. So stay tuned.